everybody out there. I am back. That's right. I am your host, Jessica Koch, and this is Profound Professionals. It's an interview series that has been coming to you now for, I cannot believe it. We're going to have that 10-year big old birthday party next year. 9 years now. You've been hanging out with us, and we've had the pleasure of hanging out with you. And we bring you a brilliant and amazing guest that can improve your personal life or help you grow your business. Today, I have such the combo of ladies. It is going to blow your socks off. Just wait until you listen. So, I am going to start with the beautiful Darla. She is a certified somatic trauma-informed relationship coach who helps high-achieving women stop shrinking themselves in relationships and start showing up as their full, unfiltered selves. And I think that is a beautiful way to be, although I need a personal filter occasionally myself.
Understand.
Well, welcome and thank you for being here at the show today, Darla.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is my pleasure. All right, guess what? We also have Xanet, and she is a former health care lawyer who, after living for 26 years in marriage with not a lot of intimacy happening, she transitioned in her career to a sex and intimacy educator, coach, and trauma practitioner, and she is a best-selling author. We all need a little extra love, so thank you, Xanet, for being in our world today.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. Iris is doing some cool stuff in the world. She shares do-it-yourself honoring event programs, which I love the concept of this, honoring event, Iris. So welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to honor you and share.
Yeah, I have some gratitude events coming. That's what I'm calling them, my virtual summits. I'm calling a legacy gratitude event and a money gratitude event, because I believe that gratitude, joy, and love are high frequency, high energy, and they just help us manifest abundance and are so powerful when we put them in the recipe together, right? It's like using cinnamon and vanilla. It's like the secret recipe.
Yeah, magnetic.
Yeah.
Very magnetic. Yes. Awesome.
Well, I'm excited to have all three of you ladies here. We are going to start with a little bit of Darla's journey and story on how you decided to help people live a life where they could show up without a filter and live their best lives.
Yes. So it obviously, as usual, begins in childhood. And I did not have a good example of what healthy relationships look like, didn't have a good relationship with my dad. And so when I was an adult, I got involved with men who mirrored my comfort zone, which was emotionally unavailable. And so I got into some controlling situations and marriages, but that was certainly, while it felt like the worst thing that could have happened to me in the moment, it ended up being the best thing, because it was my wake-up call, and it gave me the opportunity not only to heal from those experiences, but in these past 2 years, especially, to realize it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than healing. It's about self-validation, self-love. I need to be whole within myself, with or without people in my life.
I love that. So, where in the stages do you find, is it mostly women that you're working with?
All women, yes.
And where are they in the process often, where they say, oh, I need a Darla in my life. I need a lifeline. I need I need someone to throw me what I call a gratitude ladder so I can get out of this hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. They are usually at this point where they're like, I am really tired of having, whether it's a love life or a family relationship, friend, my relationships just don't feel good to me. They feel like people don't see me, don't hear me. I don't know how to fix that, but I know change has to happen, and I need help with that.
Yeah, I had some really good advice. I had a family member who I was sharing an experience with someone, and she was like, oh, well, you just have to say this, this, and this. And, and I was like, oh, I never had the power of those words before to be able to say something and not feel like I never want to hurt anyone's feelings, or, like I have a hard time with some of that myself. So if someone's struggling, what ways are you working with them? Are you doing one-on-one? Is it group? Is it all virtual? Is it online courses? Is it workshops? How are you supporting these amazing women as they go through their journey of transition?
Yeah, it is all online. And I do have a program that combines both one-on-ones with me as well as a group dynamic. There's something powerful about being with a group of women that understand where you're coming from. And yes, that includes trainings as well. I pick a topic and we have a weekly training. But yeah, it's really just about, I like the one-on-ones because it gives that individualized, what are you going through today? What is on your mind today? Because it's going to change every time.
Yeah. And I think journaling is so important, such an important part of that process.
Yes.
For sure. For sure. So if they did want to get a feel for you or dip their toe in the water or check things out and see if they wanted to take another step, where's a good place for them to find you and what would they do? What's the next step, Darla?
Yeah, my website has everything there. That's highvaluewoman.info. And whether you want to follow me on social media or listen to the podcast, but also we can have a call. There's a 30-minute free call if you just want to just see where you're stuck and where we can go with that.
Yeah, so I think a great message here is there's so many resources, including Darla, and you're not alone. And high value woman or women?
Woman. High value woman.
highvaluewoman.com. What a beautiful name for a website. Thank you so much for what you do. And we're going to come back to you in a second for a tip. But we are going to get deep and intimate in the world of love and relationships with Xanet. So tell us how this became your journey. It's interesting. I have been 26 years with my current hot hunky husband, and he still lights me up like a Christmas tree. And I feel like the most beautiful girl in the world. I'm so glad his vision and hearing are going, because I just look even better. Yeah, I'm thrilled to be with the man of my dreams. But tell us about your journey. And I'm sorry that you went. It's heart-wrenching, and that you went through so many years of that. And I think that's the blessing for me was, because I'm giving more of my story than I normally do, just because you girls are too on the home run. He was married 9 years. I was married 7, and both our spouses left us for other people, and we met each other and have been together 26 years now.
Nice.
And I just feel like, I wasted those 7 years. Like, I want those years back. So
relate to that.
when I saw your story of 26 years, I was like, oh, that hurts. So do share your story. I'm sorry.
I'm happy to. So I want to, totally agree with what Darla says, that it all starts in childhood, right? So as you said, Jessica, I lived in a relationship for 26 years that had very little intimacy and very little physical relationship. I do have 2 children, so there was some, but not a lot. And all of this, started when I was a little girl and had some experiences around shame. Little girls play doctor with their little girlfriends, and sometimes a parent shows up and in the middle of it, and there's a lot of shame associated with it. And all of that really started to disconnect me from my body and from any pleasure I could possibly have from my body. So it kind of made sense that by the time I got in this marriage, I never had any pleasure. I never had any of the big O's, or even a little O for that matter. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Exactly. So I was, but I was in this marriage. I felt incomplete. There was a part of me that was really missing inside. I didn't enjoy physical intimacy with my partner, so I was fine to give it up. But we also started to lose the emotional connection as well, which what happens when the physical part of the relationship actually goes away. And so eventually at the age of 50, so I'm 65 now, at the age of 50, I left this marriage. And I went on my own journey to really look at my own wounding and my own sexuality and my own body to try to understand how do I change all of this?
Because it's a lot in our heads. I think it's so in our heads.
Oh, and in our body, right? Yeah. Like, the body has this experience, like Darla knows this, the body has this somatic experience of what trauma feels like. And it just shuts down, and my body totally shut down. And so my journey was a very experiential body-based journey of starting to open myself up. I explored the world of Tantra, which is its own really fascinating, interesting world. And then ultimately I was a healthcare lawyer by training, and I left and the field and became a sex and intimacy coach because I wanted to be able to be there for women and for couples because there was nobody there for me when I was 28 and 30.
Couples now. So you do this with couples and individuals?
Yeah. So I used to work mostly with women, but primarily right now I'm working with couples who are in relationships that have no intimacy or they're on the brink of separation.
One of the things that I love about my relationship, and I think that's one of the gifts you get from seeing the extreme of the other side, is we both knew the extreme of the other side. And so we made all these beautiful rules.
Yeah.
And so since the very beginning of time, even before we were actually intimate, we played this 3 things game where we tell each other 3 amazing things we love about each other, just randomly all the time, like in the car, on the couch, just, but always after we're intimate. And it has been a beautiful, beautiful experience. And we've taught it to the children. Not that we didn't share that. We play the 3 things game with the children in the car too. I have a 14-year-old and I have a 9-year-old granddaughter, and we were headed to a soccer game just last weekend. And my granddaughter said, "I'm going to start the game." And she went around and did 3 things about everybody in the car that she loved. And then we all did, we all do each other, right? Everybody goes around and we all do everyone in the car. And it's so fascinating, the things that, especially to hear the 14-year-old say the 3 things she loves about the 9-year-old niece and vice versa. And what they come up with us too, right?
Right.
They say about us. And it's just a really wonderful thing. And I think the emotional and the physical is huge. I can't be anywhere with my husband now that in the same room there, he doesn't find a way to physically contact me, like physical like his thigh is next to my thigh, or his arm is on my arm, or just leaning on me, whatever. There's that. It's like a magnet, because he said to me, one of the things he read when he was going through his healing journey after the first marriage was that there was this horrific study in some other country where they had infants that got no physical contact. And it emotionally affected him reading the details of this white paper and this thing that they did, which, is inhumane to have allowed happen. But he said he just always wanted to be sure that anyone in his life had physical contact, because he realized how important that was. That's
huge, right? And that's a really important part of intimacy, is having that physical touch and having the oxytocin flowing through you and really create. I love that your what was it called? The three
things. We play the three things
game. I think I might have to incorporate that with my partner because I think
you should. It's so beautiful. I would love for you to do that. And the rule is when right after we're intimate, only one of the things can be an ooh la la thing. The other two things have to be something about my person and my character. That's the part of the rule.
That's beautiful.
And it has been the most magnificent, glorious 26 years of my every breath. I want to spend 100+ years with him. He tells me that our energies have always found one another, and that have always been together, and that they always will be, and that he'll always find me. And I totally
so
believe
beautiful.
him. I believe every word he is saying because it actually feels electric.
Yeah. Oh, you should be the poster child on my website.
Yes, I got rid of the bad O word. I don't use that word anymore. You know, that word where you feel like the plate is overflowing. I don't use that word. But the other O word, I have lots of in my life. So that's a super good thing. And it's great for your health. It's stress relieving.
Totally.
You think better.
Totally.
You're a nicer person.
And you know, also like it's the center for women. It's the center of our creativity and our power, right? So even from the perspective of our businesses and our financial prowess, like tapping tapping into that energy is really what drives everything else as well. So it's very, very powerful energy.
You know, I'm publishing my first song. I'm writing 7 historical fiction novels. I'm doing 2 big virtual summits. I run podcasts all the time. I kayak, I paint, I sew. I love life.
Yeah.
So, all right. So if someone is struggling and they're just feeling disconnected from this one that they love, they can come to you and find you and work with you one-on-one. Is there also group sessions and other resources? And
so I offer one-on-one personal 4 and 5 day retreats with couples. And then once a year, I offer a couples group retreat in Costa Rica and a women's group retreat on money and the S word.
Yes, that's right. The good S word.
The good S word. Also, so those are the various options I have for working with people.
That's awesome. And how can they find you, Xanet?
So they can go to this website, howtoimprovemylovelife.com. Where mylovelife.com, they're going to get a little free gift with some videos of how to improve their love life. And have a way to connect with me as well. I also, like Darla, offer a 30-minute free call.
And I will tell you, if you're the kind of people, and my husband and I happen to be, that are constantly like, he turned me on years ago to Tony Robbins cassettes, right? Like when it was in a cassette. We're trying constantly and striving, and I'm not just trying, but succeeding at up-leveling to be the best version of ourselves, better than we were yesterday, constantly reaching for that. And when you have that, just when you think it can't get any more better with the multiple of the letter after P, no, it's not after P, it's before P. But anyway, you just can't believe that it did just get better. Like you're right. You're creative, you're fun, you're loving, you're romantic, and it just heightens things in such
it does
a fantastical way that I still blows my mind. Still.
Love it.
One of the other things we recently did is we constantly say affirmation and things, but we write them together. Like he puts together a piece of the sentence, I do a sentence, and then we do some, and then we read some together, but we also read them throughout the day, knowing the other person is out there reading or saying that same memorized life affirmation, life mission. life legacy that we want to leave. So we do lots of fun little things like that. All right, hang on for a tip, because we're going to need a whopper of a tip from you. Iris, you've been so patient and gorgeous and wonderful. Tell us, I mean, I think you're the cherry on the top of the cake. So, you know, Darla learns to love herself. Xanet helps us love each other more powerfully and intimately and better. And then you pull together this way to show us how to honor each other in these do-it-yourself events. So what a magical orchestra of guests that the universe put together for us. We did not design this, y'all. This just, you can't make this stuff up. This just popped up on my calendar, just the way their smiling faces are. So Iris, tell us about how beautiful this is and how became to stumble into the DIY of it all for this. This is a very interesting, unique thing also.
Well, as a child, I found that I had a really big open heart, and I had an aunt that I really loved. And I decided to write a note just to stick in her car and let her know how deeply I appreciated her. And I realized that if I didn't sign it, that I could let my heart find its fullest expression. So I have been honoring people anonymously for many, many years with anonymous awards, caregivers and gifted and talented children, volunteers, you name it. It's been great. And I realized that it was a way to share unconditional love, you know, without an agenda. To be able to honor people anonymously has brought me and other people incredible joy. So that's really where my journey began. I have an abundance of honoring awards that people can send anonymously, and people love doing it. And here's the cool thing is the mystery. Our inner child loves a good mystery. So if, for example, I were to send you a Glorious Gratitude Award in the mail, if I send it anonymously, you have to think about all the wonderful people you know and who of all these wonderful people might have sent that to you. And what a beautiful process that is.
So is that what, so explain to us really the foundation of what happens here. So I'm guessing you have a website.
Yes.
Okay.
My website is honoringevents.com. So
Okay.
I started out with,
I want to have an honoring event. What do I do next?
Well, so you can go to the website and there are a lot of different choices. You can add, obviously, these honoring awards to honoring tributes. I have an honoring improv program that's really fun, which is basically honoring storytelling. And you know what's fascinating too is not only are the awards kind of the foundation of the honoring I do, but I have a keywords list that people can use that make it easy to honor each other. Over 90 keywords that represent our values, our virtues, and I have beginning sentences. I have these very simple foundational things that make it easy for people to just say, hey, I want to honor this person for their 70th birthday, graduation from college, whatever it is. There's always these wonderful opportunities to honor each other. And so my programs make it easy. They're affordable downloads. They're really easy to follow, and they bring people together. They create such powerful connection, and honoring makes everybody look good and feel good.
So I'm still not grasping the whole picture of how it works. Do they, when they go to your website,
yes,
and they want to honor someone, say I wanted to honor Darla and she wouldn't know it was me, what would I do? Would you physically mail something to her that I select?
Well, there's a couple. There's a couple of options. You could either mail her an anonymous award. Okay. You know, an Elegant Enchantress Award looks like her to me. You could anonymously mail her an honoring award, or you could download one of my programs, which is for an honoring event, honoring tributes for all different kinds of milestone events. It's a very simple program which helps you facilitate people going around, picking keywords, using beginning sentences, so everybody could honor her for her graduation, for her retirement, for her.
But that wouldn't be anonymous. The event, everybody would be saying. Okay, that's similar to what I'm actually doing in my gratitude event. My speakers are coming on and they get to invite 10 people that they get to edify publicly in front of everyone.
I love that.
Yes, because it's a beautiful experience. And then those people all get to say one sentence about the speaker in
Great.
return. And it is just, it is as close to a physical contact and a hug virtually that I think you can get, you know?
Absolutely.
And so I was speaking to someone, a friend of mine from years and years ago, and I used to have these winter teas I would throw in honor of my friends because I noticed, you know, people get a little bit down at the, after the holidays. So in January, I would throw a winter tea, and I gave gifts to everyone. And I was talking to someone who just lost her husband, and we haven't had these teas for 15 or 20 years now. But she told me how she remembered that on one of those teas, I pulled her into a side room and I had 5 or 6 women all surround her and put hands on her. And we all prayed for her for something she was going through. And she said that was a transformational moment in her life, that she remembers it to this day. You know, and I think that that's the kind of thing you're giving women, Iris, or people, humans. You're giving humans this opportunity to virtually put hands on one another and show love and kindness, and the true meaning of that's something that I didn't understand what the word cherish meant until I met my husband, Chris. I know what it is to be cherished, and you're helping people cherish one another in a really unique and beautiful way.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up the healing aspect, because one of the things, someone called me recently and said, my friend is dying of cancer. This is the last time we're going to see her. Help me. What can we do to pull this together? So I gave them my list, my 90 key words, all about our virtues and values. And they were able to pick words, tell stories, find a way to honor this beautiful woman, because that's what we all want on our way out the door. Is that we're not just who we are in our frailty on our way out the door, or we're not just our disease or our challenge. You know, honoring each other makes such a difference. That when we honor other people, we learn to honor ourselves, and it's a beautiful circle.
It is one of the things. I never did it anonymously, really, but one of the things that I love to do is spontaneous gratitude spotlights. Well, I'll jump on, I'll do a live video and talk about someone and the wonderful things I love about them. And then I'll tag them in the post, and then they just randomly find it when they're looking at their notifications. I had a girlfriend call me in tears. She said, I saw the post. It means so much to me that you did that. You know, it just really gets to people when you just for real, no reason at all other than I genuinely appreciate the human that she is and what she's up to in the world. And it is lovely. And you know what? It's just as lovely for the person, for me doing the gratitude shout out spotlight. It's just as wonderful and thrilling for me doing it as it is for the one getting to watch it and receive it. So what a gift we give one another when we allow each other to give to one another, right?
Absolutely.
So tell us again your website, and get cooking on a tip, because we're going to come back around to you for a tip as well. But what's your website again, how they can find you?
It's honoringevents.com.
Honoring event with an S at the end?
Yes.
Honoringevents.com. So that event has an S at the end. So honoringevents.com. You will go and find Iris. Is there what's there for them? Or is there a way for them to meet with you or chat with you, or what will they find when they go to the site?
Well, I am very happily semi-retired. So what they can find is the link where they can order honoring awards, whether that's with a gift note or send them anonymously. And then they will find several honoring event programs that are do it yourself, that are wonderful for bringing people together and honoring each other.
I love that. I love that. So she says, don't call me, I'll call you. But get out there and honor someone today. So that's the message I heard. All right, Darla, we're back at you. You've been sitting on this golden tip egg, I hope, and it's ready to hatch. So what do you have for us?
What I've got is, I'm really big on standards and boundaries. That's part of honoring our not too much. And what I like to tell people is keep in mind, because we often feel really guilty, right, as women, like, oh, I think you were talking earlier about we don't want to hurt people's feelings. So remember, when you're setting a boundary, this is not a wall. This is actually a door. You have given the other person the opportunity to either walk through the door and honor your boundary, or walk away. And then you can decide how you want to handle that from there. But always remember, this is an opportunity, not a wall.
Yeah. And me with someone like Darla, and, even use our different resources like ChatGPT, and do some other research, because one of the things I learned, I had to ask myself about certain family members, because I love all family and I love all people, but it's easier to make decisions with people who aren't born into your family to make, decide if they're healthy to be in your life or not. It is a little more challenging when these people are born into your life circle. And so I had to ask myself, when letting certain people back in, how and where did I feel most comfortable? Was it out at a restaurant or a coffee shop where, I was not in my home where I could feel cornered, or, so just different. I had to ask myself those questions. And one of the words someone gave me was, I loved how they put this all in a positive format. Like, Darla, I'm sure that when you're saying this to me, your intention's not to make me feel guilty. However, when you present it that way, I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time with it. So maybe we can rephrase this or discuss it a different way, or maybe we can just choose another topic, right? Like protecting yourself without attacking the other person, but making them aware of the feeling that's coming up, and being able to do that. And I never had those words before, and I loved getting them when, I had to deal with certain family members that I love very much, but I still have to maintain the right healthy space for myself. So I love that you gave that tip. Thank you so much for that, Darla. All right, let's have it. Let's see, PG-13 but super juicy tip from you, Xanet.
Okay, well,
in code, speaking code.
In code. I don't have to speak too much in code around this. So here's my tip. This is about touch, and this is one of the things that I talk about on the How to Improve My Love Life. That's website, the video, right? Is most of the time when we touch another person, when we touch our partner, we touch them in a way in which we think they want to be touched. And we're not actually, and when we do that, our touch isn't conscious, and we're not actually present. Partner. We're all up here in our head. So the tip is to touch your partner in a way that actually feels good for you. Touching for your own pleasure, which is very, very different than how we normally connect with another person. And, here's my juicy tip. Touching for your pleasure can happen with your hands, but it can also happen with other body parts. So I always say, like, when you're touching your partner, say with your mouth, think about, let me do this to make me feel good, rather than feeling like I have to perform or do a job. I'm actually taking in for my own pleasure. And that completely changes the paradigm of what touch feels like, because it ends up creating a pleasure circuit. Because when you're touching your partner for your own pleasure, they know that. They feel that. They get turned on. And then you feel their turn on. And, you have this beautiful circuit of everybody being turned on. But it's a really important tip for people to consider and to really change how they think about touching.
And actually actions. I was recently talking to someone, and she had a partner that really wanted to take care of her car for her. Like that made him feel good. Like he made sure there was oil in it and he wanted it to be clean for her and the tires and it was safe for her. And that made him feel, and that she could care less about that.
That's
Right.
right.
So, but learning both ways of this, right? Making sure we're checking with our person of what things can I do for you action wise that make you happy and bring you joy and make you feel loved and saved.
Totally.
And then at the same time, after you listen to that, then say, okay, I'm happy to do some of those things. However, these are the things I want to do for you because they make me feel good for this reason. I think that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Too, is having the circuit be a complete circle, right? And allowing and appreciating the person doing those things that they enjoy doing for you.
Yes.
So, you know, even if you could care less if the car was clean and the air was in the tires, right? I mean, it's pretty helpful when you're
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you're talking, that's also like the love languages that you have. How do
Right.
you receive love and how do you give love? But this is really very much about physical touch, that what I'm talking about. But I see the connection between the giving and the receiving. And of course, you know, there's boundaries, right? Like if I don't want you to touch me that way, that's not going to happen. But in a consensual situation.
Yeah, having that communication. I guess it comes back again to communication is super, super important.
Absolutely. Most important thing in a relationship.
Yeah.
I just want to honor that, can I?
Well, yes, and you're up next with your tip. So go ahead.
I love that tip. I love that tip. And especially because women, you know, we're the glue and therefore oftentimes the people pleasers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you're absolutely right. If we are focusing too on our own pleasure of giving, I mean, that is huge. And what I see is that a lot of women never get there.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't get there. And so I am thrilled that they have you as a resource. Yeah. And I think that is a fabulous tip, but I just really want to thank you for that. That I really get that. And I trust that all of the listeners will really understand and take that to heart and really benefit from it. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I one of the other things that it makes me think of that's similar to is for our anniversaries, my husband and I take turns planning it for the other because we feel like it's a day for both of us. So one year I'll do it and I'll surprise him all things about him. And then the next time he'll do it and it'll be all things for me. And so I love that idea of the giving and the taking and the communication for all the different ways that we love each other in relationships. And, you know, back to relationships with all kinds of amazing people, whether it's business or family or other. Iris's programs are fantastic with that. So what's your tip for us, Iris?
When is the best time to honor someone? Right now.
That's a great.
And like I said, we all have these little inner children that need to be loved and honored and appreciated. So many of our issues revolve around healing the inner child and being able to receive an honoring award in the mail. I have a Childlike Wonder Award that people love getting. It doesn't matter who they are, or what age they are, you know, to receive it in the mail and have to wonder. Anonymous giving, I'm a huge advocate for anonymous giving. And these honoring events, my tagline for my website, Honoring Events, is when we take our honoring, our laughter, and our applause seriously, we create everlasting memories. And in events, after someone shares, everyone gets applause. And that is such a huge part of it. It builds that energy, that group dynamic so much. The honoring, and kids can do it too. And when kids honor their parents, like you said, different family members, when they honor each other, it's absolutely magical. And it works very, very well in the workplace as well. Because people, I have no idea my coworker, you know, had those wonderful thoughts about me. It's powerful. I call it positive form of bondage.
Well, you know, that's something that's missing in the world right now too, is applause. I mean, so many speakers who used to be on a stage used to really receive a real live human applause, and it's a little difficult to orchestrate in the Zoom spaces and virtually and in the Zoom rooms. And I was one of my guilty pleasures is old school Bob Barker Price is Right reruns. They make me happy because when I was a child, my grandparents would watch The Price is Right, and it makes me think of having lunch with them and watching The Price is Right. And I was thinking about Bob Barker's life and how long he lived and how healthy he was. And I don't know his whole story. So, I don't know, if he was, great or whatever, but, he loved animals. I know that. And I think he lived a long time. I don't know if he's still alive or not, but I was thinking about his day. He started his day almost every day, 5 days a week, at least he was recording, or however they ran the show process, right? He would get himself dressed to the nines and think about how good we feel about ourselves and love ourselves when we fix ourselves up, right? And then he would come out and people would applaud him to start his day. This was his day, right? I mean, they would standing ovations and then he would get to give people things all day long. And they would, every woman came and kissed his cheek, and, so he's getting hugs and kisses and thanked for, things he's not even giving them. But, that was his job. So no wonder he did it for so long and lived for so long. And, because can you imagine if everyone started their day with a room full of people applauding? It's one of the things I use in my meditation. I imagine a coliseum of my ancestors, past, present, and future, and angels, and people who love me, and people who passed away, and people I haven't got to meet yet, and ancestors who haven't been born yet, and they're all applauding for me. And that they're all cheering for me. And I'm able to succeed because their energy is like pushing it along. Like when a football team is falling behind, but the crowd gets so behind them that they get burst. That energy happens for me when I meditate on that, and I just love that joy. So yeah, I think something's going on with these honoring events and feeling the thrill of applause. Even if it's just in my head.
Yay. Reminds me of the old Queen for a Day too. I loved that when I was a kid. When they would do the Queen for a Day and give the woman a gift. And yeah, it was really lovely. Roses.
I just remember Romper Room sitting there, and yes, I'm aging myself, but sitting there even just to hear your name, I mean, how silly is that? But how powerful it is just to hear our own name called out, right? On television. How exciting that is, So very cool tips, ladies. All right. Now, since show number 1, I was determined to take this space of amplifying my guests and myself and my business and our success and our legacy together, but not just us, but bring awareness to causes and things that are bigger than us. Our goal here is to inspire someone to give time, treasure, or talent to a cause they care about and they just haven't thought of in a while. Oh yeah, I need to go check on them and see what they need. Have them put it in the comments, have it be shared with someone else. Be inspired by one they hear from you that they didn't know existed, that they might need themselves or know someone who needs it. Awareness is a huge thing. There are so many causes since I've started this and doing this in 10 years that I never knew existed, that are beautiful and lovely and such a great resource for the world. So if there's something out there you need, there is probably a resource out there for you. You're not alone. Check us out. We just might have that cause, and we're building them out in a directory soon. So I'm very excited about that. All the causes we've collected for the 10 years. We'll have a directory of and descriptions of and links to, so that you can scan through them and see if there's something of value to you or someone that you love. And so we are going to go back around and hear from our guest today, causes that are close to your heart. What lights you up, Darla?
It's definitely the La Plata Humane Society here in Durango, Colorado. Right. I just moved back to Colorado 6 months ago, and a week after I moved, my dog of 10 years just suddenly died. It got very ill and died. And I love this organization because I'm in a new town grieving, and I went a month later. I didn't last very long. And even though my heart was still hurting, they helped me to find Gayla, who's right behind me on this love seat snoring. But what's so beautiful is, not only just helping to find another forever home for her, but the people that really care about those animals. They offer free training, which was very helpful. And last week I just went to an event. They were doing a 3-dog night. They had 3 nights where they had live music and refreshments, and the dogs could run around and play together in a fenced area. And they all remembered her at her old name, and they were coming out from the building to see her. So La Plata Humane Society, if you are in Southwestern Colorado, I highly recommend them.
Yeah, look them up or look at a humane society near you. You just, even if you're not, can't take care of a pet, or we already have so many, maybe you could just donate some food or see what they need, donate some hours, give some love, time, treasure, or talent is always appreciated, or just spread some awareness. Make a post about them on your Facebook and remind other people that there are pets that need love, and they give so much more than they take, I believe. So thank you for that cause. Xanet, how about you? How about a cause close to your heart?
So mine is probably not as bright, but it's really important. So I'm a trauma practitioner. So I've worked with a lot of women who have been women and men who have been sexually abused and experienced trauma. So the organization that I really have a tremendous amount of belief in, and I think they do an incredible job, is called RAIN. It's a national organization. It's the Rape, Abuse, and Incest Network. It's essentially the national rape hotline. But they do a lot of other things as well. They provide counseling and safe shelters. And I think it's just really important that we support, especially now, that there be a safe place for women to go when they need to get support, when they need to leave.
Yeah, everyone deserves to be safe and honored and protected. And you said it's called RAIN?
RAIN, RAINN, Rape, Abuse, and Incest Network.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. It's definitely an important topic, and we're glad that there are people giving those people hope and care and safety. One of the things I like to say a lot is you're not alone out there. There are so many of us that would lend a hand in any way that we could. So Iris, how about you? A cause that's close to your heart?
I have to pick my main one, which is Planned Parenthood of America, and talk about you're not alone. I did volunteer work for Planned Parenthood. I did every skill set, every opportunity that I could. And the problem pregnancy counseling, when you feel so alone, I mean, everything from, incest to God only knows what, but a lot of problem pregnancy counseling is really, really important for these women. And as we know, feeling like you have choice and feeling like you have protection. I wrote a poem called Condom Friends that's really sweet, that everybody loves, and that really expresses that it keeps you safe and allows you to make responsible choices. And so I have to say Planned Parenthood and all of the wonderful counseling and services that they offer are really near and dear to my heart.
That's wonderful. Well, we had some really good causes today. I hope you've typed yours out there in the comments. We'd love to see what they are. And when someone's kind enough to hit share, it might get seen by many, many others as they watch our show and check out the comments below. Now, don't stop typing now, because if you're an author of a book or have a book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business and want to share it, it just might be the book that someone really needs right this moment. I swear they show up just when we need them. And that happens to me all the time. I have some great books that have just landed in my direction recently. So I can never get enough time to read them all. I'm listening to books and thinking about books, and got books behind me and all around me. in all their forms. So we're going to ask our guests, and we're asking you to put it in the comments too. So get working. Darla, what is a book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business?
Yes, it is John Kim's Single on Purpose. I absolutely love this book, and it's so full circle for me, because 2 years ago, I decided to travel to Colorado. I left because I was feeling unsafe several years ago, went there for the holidays, listened to the book on the way. And the book really talks about how, in order to love ourselves, this isn't about looking in the mirror and just saying, I love you over and over again. It's really going to need to know, who are you? You have to know someone to love them. That includes you. And it really set me on that journey of self-validation and self-love. So I can't say enough good. You don't have to be single to read it. It's for everybody.
I love that. That's good to know, because sometimes books like that, people will just pass by, because I'm obviously not single on
Right.
purpose or otherwise.
Right. I am, but.
But I always say that my tier of priorities is love for my creator, love for myself, then my husband, then my children, and then then there's the rest of the list that comes out from that, because I do have to love me, and I like me a lot.
That's good.
In order to be any good at anything, and that's I'm very lucky that that's one of the things that happened almost right away, as I started to soak in the early first couple of years of a healthy, loving marriage and relationship with my husband now, that I really was going on this journey of discovery of falling madly in love with myself. And
yeah, you have to.
Yeah, and so that was a cool thing to experience, to be able to be with a great person, but also really begin to love me, and see myself differently. And I got to see myself in his eyes. It was hard not to, because of the reflection of how he saw me was so amazing. It helped me see me differently, which was really cool. So, and that, and my relationship with God has been a big part of that for me too. So thank you for sharing that book. How about you, Xanet, about a book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business?
Yeah, so it's not what you think. The book that really inspired me is What Color Is Your Parachute? It's a really old book, classic book, right? But it was so powerful for me to, because this is when I was like totally lost. I was like doing healthcare a lot, I didn't really love it, but I felt like I was supposed to do something else, but I didn't know what it was. And it's not like that this actually helped me figure out what it was. The actual transformation happened through my own personal journey, but it helped me realize that I needed to really think about, what are my values? What are my mission? What are the type of environment that I want to work in, the people that I want to actually be around? And it was really seminal in me just like, oh, I'm really headed in the wrong direction. I don't know where the right direction is, but this is really the wrong one.
I love that. I don't think I've heard of that book. I mean, I missed that one.
What Color Is Your Parachute? It's old. It's a classic. I can't remember. I'm trouble with names. I can't remember the name of the author, but it's been out for a while.
You'll find it.
Yeah. What Color Is Your Parachute?
All right, Iris, how about you? What's a book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business?
The one that inspired both is called Primal Branding. It's by Patrick Hanlon. And the tagline is, create zealots for your brand, your company, and your future. And it is a fabulous book for branding and really looking at how to bring your people together and really create a cohesiveness. And I highly recommend it. It's an easy read. This man has helped people in Fortune 500 companies. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. And it's a great book, Primal Branding.
Primal Branding. Even as a solopreneur, you feel like this was super helpful when you don't have a gigantic team and things like that. So this was good.
Absolutely. Right. Especially when you're looking to empower groups of people, which we're all involved with, empowering individuals and groups. And I do highly recommend it.
I love that. That's wonderful. All right. We've got some pretty brilliant authors right here, you guys. So let's get into some of their books. Darla, let's talk about your book.
Yes, I have two collaboration books, but the one that I am the most excited about is called The Gratitude Effect. I wrote a chapter in there about the gratitude of the lessons I learned during a breakup last year. Yes, it's not happening to us, it's happening for us, right?
Yeah, well, and I think finding gratitude in everything changes our vibration so that we can shift to the next great thing that's up to bat for us. So that's wonderful. I'm all about gratitude. I always want a little more of that, please. All right, Xanet, how about you? Let's have your book.
I have two books as well. The first one is Living an Orgasmic Life, Heal Yourself and Awaken Your Pleasure, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's really about what are the blocks to intimacy and pleasure, the first half of the book. And the second half is really about how do we change that with very specific practices and exercises and case studies. And I also talk very vulnerably about my own personal journey. And then I have a book coming out in March, which is called The Sex and Intimacy Repair Kit. This is a book for couples on how to enhance their communication and create a lifetime of passionate intimacy. And I'm very excited about that and all of the exercises. I also drop people into a coaching session so they actually hear the dialogue of what's going on. And I'm really stoked about that one.
That is very, very cool. It sounds like you're doing some interesting things, and how wonderful you're giving people a way to reconnect again with each other and find and fall back in love again, which is a super wonderful thing to experience. All right. How about you, Iris? Tell us about your book.
I have written several books, and I am in love with processes, and I'm in love with appreciative inquiry. And the name of my book is Legacy of Wisdom, a process to inspire sharing your stories, values, and insights. And it's essentially a template for writing your biography from the perspective of your values, what you value. It's got 12 wonderful questions. It's got all of those 90 keywords. And of course, I had to use all 90 words, and I had to use all 12 questions for all of those words. And people love reading my examples because they're so universal. And the beautiful thing is, not only do I share my wisdom, my stories, my values, my insights, but it's an opportunity for other generations to do the same thing. It's not just about me. What are my children? What are their values? What are their stories? What are their insights? And so it's leaving a legacy of wisdom for people, I think, is really a wonderful thing to do. And it's a very deep inner focus and inner discovery of who you value, why you value it, and where you're going with your values. And so I really appreciate everyone's connection with their values here. That just brings me such incredible joy. You women are amazing.
This was a good recipe. I didn't put this soup together, but it came out good, right? For sure. Yeah, I love the idea of story legacy, and I think even people who aren't in your family aren't maybe necessarily inspired to write their own story. They could use your guide to pull the story out of them. Just asking, having the questions as a guide and asking lots of questions and documenting that. I really think it's important for families to have the stories of their ancestors as far back as we can to learn about ourselves and where we're from.
And all those key words are universal values. They're universal. The questions are universal. The words, the values and virtues that we all love, it's so universal. And it really, when I first published it, I published it as the oneness process because it brought such a deep sense of oneness. And we also discovered that the same stuff gets in the way for all of us. Great questions, great keywords.
Well, and people don't realize what an impact that can have. So I found out, and I have to do some more research to validate that if not the first, one of the first postmistresses was from my family heritage. And I mean, just knowing that, or if I can, even, I know at least she was a postmistress, which is still rare, even if it wasn't the first one, but it's still an exciting story. And how cool would it be if she would have written something on her memoirs, or her journey to get there, or how she had that, or even, I don't know, just stories of her existence. Wouldn't that be cool for me to have in my hands to read? Right. And still how inspiring that is, that she took on that position. Like, I know my grandmother was one of the managers at one of the World War factories when the men were gone and they were making airplanes, right? Like, that's a cool thing to say about my grandmother. I knew that about her. And I think those stories are just so important to pass on. They're as important as leaving a trust and all of those things. And I'm recently doing more research on what's called a digital estate, so that you can include content like video, all of these videos and all my interviews and all the things that I'm building can actually be left into an estate under a foundation, so that it can have longevity and real legacy. So a digital estate with all of your content can live on, in addition to your books and music and other things that we're building, so that your family can have a one place, one website where everything is there, to continue to pass on, right? And continue to have a life of its own. So I just think we should be thinking differently about legacy, which is part of why I'm having a legacy gratitude event, and having and featuring speakers. All of you would be fabulous on it, of course, and you're definitely invited. This has been so fun. This has been such a good interview process and experience for me, and I hope it's been great for all of you.
It's been awesome. I've never done a panel before, but this was amazing. I loved it.
Okay, good. Yay. All right. Now, if you're out there thinking, wait, I've written books, songs, music, I have things to help people with, I can inspire their personal life, I can help them grow their business, I can do great things too, I should be featured on this show. Well, I'm saying, come on. Just reach out to us and our team, and we'll tell you just how to get on the show, and we can feature you and hear your story too. Now, before we close out today, we are going to go back around and tap on our guests one last time for that final thought, a piece of information or inspiration as we go. What do you have for us, Darla?
Yes, I just want to remind everyone out there that you are not too much. You've just accepted too little. And if for some reason you have a little back step, you can always get up, brush yourself off, and start again tomorrow.
Yeah, you don't even have to wait tomorrow. I mean, one of the things I heard recently is there's another minute coming right behind this.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. Thank you, Darla. All right, Xanet, how about you? Do you have
I do. So I think we all need to remember, especially as women, that pleasure is our birthright. And that if we're not experiencing pleasure, it's not necessarily normal. We need to do something about it.
Don't settle.
Do not settle.
Right.
You deserve to have all of the O's you want.
Ride that roller coaster and have all the thrills of that roller coaster. They should be screaming thrills with your hands in the air.
100%.
I'm a big fan of the big roller coaster, especially with lots of loop-de-loops. So it's all about the parallels, Xanet. You just have to learn to talk.
Really good euphemisms. I love it. I'm learning a lot, Jessica.
Iris, would you give us a closing thought too?
Well, first I want to comment to Xanet. I just want to say I have been widowed for the last 2 years, and I was extremely happily married. I was the most happily married person I'd ever met in my life. And so I'm learning, again, more of an inner journey and more of an aloneness to my sexuality, and learning to have that self-love in a very different way than I've had it in a very, very long time. So I love what you're doing. I get what you're saying, both of you. And I love the whole, alone journey thing. I love all this stuff. You guys are amazing. A lot of things I needed to hear today. So thank you.
Thank you.
What I want to remind everybody of is that when we learn to honor other people, we learn to honor ourselves.
Mhm.
And I have a poem that I send with every one of my honoring awards called Honoring Builds a Circle of Nobility, because it does. And when you learn to honor other people, you learn to honor yourself, and that is where the magic happens. So we have so many opportunities to honor each other, to honor ourselves. I throw parties for myself and I bring my people together and we have a really good time too. So thank you so much for that.
That is beautiful. And this has been so good. This has been Profound Professionals. It's an awesome show. You should check out some more. I'm your host, Jessica Koch, and I'm going to be doing a bunch more of these. You're not getting rid of me yet. But until the next time, be kind to yourself out there and be kind to each other. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.